Could you tell us a little bit about growing up in D.C.?
Yeah, we grew up in northwest northwest D.C. near Walter Reed Hospital, and the fond recollection of that area was the Hollywood stage shows would come to town, and they perform at Walter Reed on the hillside free for the patients, so we got to see the free shows every year.
Nice.
Grew up in a typical family, three bedroom house. And when I was 5, I got my own bed because my sister left to become a nun, and a week later my brother left to become a priest. So I got a bed all by myself. Went through Catholic school all the way up through Gonzaga High School. And it was while I was at Gonzaga that my brother and my wife's brother put together a blind date for me to go to a dance in a formal attire. And we have been an item ever since.
What is your wife's name?
Bernadette.
It's a beautiful name.
Mm-hmm.
We first moved to, after we were married, we first moved to Langley Park, Maryland. For what reason, I don't know, other than the rent was cheap, which meant my wife had to take 2 buses to go to work. So we moved back into D.C. at 6 blocks from where I was born. We lived there for a couple of years, and now grew up when our son was born. And my dad, who was chief appraiser for FHA, had guaranteed loans for a bank way out in the sticks called the Bank of Vienna. And he said, pack a lunch and cross the chain bridge and keep going till you fall off the end of the earth and you'll be in Vienna, Virginia. And that's how we wound up coming to Vienna. We toured model houses after looking at 38 houses in Maryland, and found the house of our dream and put a deposit of $50 on it. Salesman said, you're out of your mind. I said, no, my dad has to approve it. He looked it over and said, you should buy 3 of them. These are good houses. That was our first house in Vienna, in southwest Vienna, before we outgrew it with our kids and moved here to Vienna Hills.
So what year did you first come to Vienna then?
1957.
And what year were you married?
1953. I like to tell the story that in October the 24th, our son was born. The 25th, we moved to Vienna, and it was our wedding anniversary, and the 26th, we moved to Vienna, and my son would say, tell him it wasn't the same year, Dad. We have loved being here ever since and don't plan to go anywhere else.
Mm.